Begin with our breaking news off the top here at 6 o'clock. A police standoff on 495 in Lowell. The road shut down in both directions.
We want to bring in our chief investigator, Cheryl Fiandaca. She has been learning a lot about what's happening there on the roadway. First, let's give you a live look as we get Cheryl here on camera with us. You can see the left-hand side of your screen, major backup. Right-hand side is now fully open. However, there's a lot going on here. Cheryl, tell us what your I-team sources are telling you about what we're seeing.
Yeah, Lisa, David, the I-team sources are telling me right now that this is, obviously a really tense situation. And this involves a pickup truck that we saw in the median there that sources say was allegedly involved in a shooting earlier at Highland Commons in Berlin. Now, sources say the person in the vehicle is possibly armed. Mass State Police have requested a negotiator to the scene. And we've been talking with our security analyst, Ed Davis. He's the former Boston Police Commissioner. And we're hoping to bring him in now to ask him a little bit more about this challenging situation that police are dealing with there. As far as we know at this point, behind the scenes, police they have all the stop team is there, the CAT team is there. You can see that the roadway is shut down on that side while the police are dealing with this. Now, this is rush hour, so you have a lot of folks in that area, a lot of concern that anybody could get hurt in case there is any kind of gunfire that could possibly happen. So this is pretty challenging to deal with at this time of day.
Cheryl, quick question for you before we turn it over to Ed. This was shut down in both directions. Now we can see the traffic flowing in those lanes right there. Does this suggest that they have made any kind of headway, or have they just realized how much they've contained the situation?
That's a good question. I mean, we really don't know. We're trying to kind of protect the police at this point by not showing exactly what's going on in that. At this time right now. So, they're dealing with the concerns that they have for their own safety as well.
All right, let's bring in Ed Davis now, our security analyst and expert. And Ed, we've been talking about it just quickly for the viewers at home, that there is a person inside of a truck on the median strip there. State police bringing in a negotiator as well. They're keeping the public at bay just to make sure that there's no dangerous, any type of shootout or anything like that. Tell us about the sort of difficulties of trying to handle a situation like this for police.
Hi, David. Yeah, this is very complex. The time of day, the location, the volume of traffic on that roadway. This incident is unfolding about a half mile from my house. I can hear the helicopters overhead. This is clearly a situation where the police have to follow protocols, and their utmost concern is trying to get everybody out of it safely. So if the suspect is refusing to give up, and if they have a suspicion or any evidence that the suspect is armed, they're going to take this very slowly. It's hard to tell by the volume of traffic on the other side of the highway whether that means the lanes have been opened or there's another access road after the roadblock that people can come up on. So it's hard to divine exactly what status the standoff is in right now. But I'll tell you that the police are trained in this. The hostage negotiators from the state police are very good at what they do, and they're going to take this very slowly and methodically. It's a terrible inconvenience to the driving public, but it's something that needs to happen because saving a life, even if it's a suspect's life, is obviously first priority.
Quick question for you. This is Lisa. State police, we know, have called in those negotiators. How do they establish contact with this person, and what are the steps that they go through to try to de-escalate what can be a very dangerous situation?
Hi, Lisa. Well, there are several different ways that you can establish contact. The most common nowadays is to identify a friend or relative of the suspect, get their telephone number, and call them on their phone. Everybody has a mobile phone. That's the easiest way to connect with them. There are also, attempts to do things verbally, sometimes over a loudspeaker that will be in one of the police vehicles that's there. Years ago, they used to have what they called a throw phone. That was a hardwired phone that you could throw out to a suspect, and they could pick it up and communicate with you. But most likely, it's the mobile phone. Once they know who the suspect is from running the plate, they can go into databases and find a telephone number listed to them, or as I said, getting it from a friend or relative.
And Ed, it's Cheryl. We realize that this is likely connected to that incident in Berlin. And how difficult is it for the police to piece together all of that you now have basically what are two crime scenes?
Right. It makes things more complicated, obviously. And, the crime scene that's allegedly in Berlin is a static scene. It's locked down. No one can get in there. It's being handled very methodically by a team of CSI experts and police investigators who are very slowly picking up evidence and documenting exactly what that scene looks like. This one in the highway is much more dynamic. There are a lot of moving parts here. There's innocent people on the roadway. There's people in their homes not far from this. So they have to keep all that in mind, but try to establish some type of rapport with the suspect and explain to him the futility of continuing and not giving up. And hopefully they'll be able to talk him out.
I'm hoping at some point we might be able to pop up that traffic map we had a few seconds ago as we continue to show you the view from Sky Eye as well. Again, we have police activity right now, a car in a median strip where there is a suspect inside. You see on this traffic map, right-hand side, you see the green lines going through 93. And then you see on the left-hand side, Route 3. So we're talking about the stretch between 93 and Route 3 there on 495, where you see just a black line, basically. There are no cars there because both sides have been shut down. If you're familiar with the area, we're talking around the Woburn Street exit off of 495, which is basically on the Lowell, Billerica, Tewksbury line. So basically stay away from this area as much as you can. We have seen some movement of cars, but as Ed Davis pointed out, it seems like that might be beyond sort of the blocked off area. And we've also seen cars crossing over the median strip to try to get out of this traffic jam. Obviously, police are hoping that people will not continue to do that.
Yeah. Ed, if you're still with us, I do have a quick question for you. Right now, the people who are probably closest to this scene and who in their cars, we're looking at this backed up line of traffic right now, are probably pretty anxious. How in a situation like this can police get information to at least the people who are in the first level of this traffic to let them know not to get out of their cars, not to move in, to give them some idea, but not too much information about what's happening?
It would not be uncommon to send an officer around the scene and come up on the other side and have that exact conversation with the people that are in the first row of cars so that they understood exactly what was going on and they didn't do anything stupid, actually. David mentioned that some of them are cutting across the median strip. As someone who's driven across those median strips frequently, you can get trapped there, stuck in the mud, depending on the angle. So, just sitting, basically sheltering in place in their vehicle is the best thing that they can do right now. And the police are doing everything they can to protect them from harm.
And we are seeing an interesting vehicle on the road right now attached to that truck right there, trying to make out exactly what's happening.
And Ed, as far as the police units that are on the scene, in addition to the negotiator, what units would be there in a situation like this?
Well, the patrol force would be the initial responder. So whether it's the local police or the state police, most likely the state police that picked them up on 495, they would be the initial responders. They would be augmented by the local police in uniform. So the uniform branch is in charge of this until the hostage negotiators get there. But of course, there'll be detectives assigned too to document everything that happens because of the ongoing homicide investigation. We had a similar pursuit there and shootout 20 years ago, one exit down from there, and we had to shut that highway down just like this. So we've been through it, but hopefully, especially since it seems as though the suspect is contained, they'll be able to wrap this up fairly shortly.
So you're seeing there on your screen the traffic map where you can see just how far this was. When we were just showing Sky Eye, what you were looking at were the southbound lanes on 495. And you could see how far it went back. You could see that there was a Cracker Barrel there. That's on Route 133, which is on the Andover-Tewksbury line. That's way away from where this scene is happening. So that goes all the way back to 93. And the reason why you were seeing that open area on the right-hand side, that's beyond where it stopped on the northbound side. So you have cars getting on from Route 38, from 133. But this is the scene. People are going nowhere fast, and we're hoping that Ed is right and that this wraps up soon, and you want it to end in a peaceful way. And Ed, the biggest concern here is just that if something violent were to happen, if shots were to ring out, you need to keep those cars as far away as possible.
Right. The police are trained in controlling their fire to understand what is in the line of fire and make sure they have the right backdrop and take up shooting angles that keep people out of danger. The problem is you don't know what the suspect's going to do. If he starts spraying rounds around that area, it could be very dangerous. So hopefully the vehicles are back far enough to be as safe as possible, but it's still a threat. It's still a very dangerous situation.
All right, Ed Davis joining us now, our security analyst. We so appreciate, as always, your perspective on this situation that is affecting so many people tonight. Ed, really appreciate your time.
Thank you.